Hey everyone, as you can see, my car is currently taken apart with a bunch of parts. Got tools on the cowl up here, tools everywhere. Just the garage is a little bit of a mess right now. The car is currently not drivable, and I will explain that. Not because of the parts that are obviously taken out of the car, but for a certain reason that I will explain in this video. Super stoked, super stoked. So let's get right to that. Over here on this bench, I have my old injectors, my fuel rail, fuel pressure regulator, hard line right here that goes to the HPFP, and various little things here. Yeah. So let's take a look at the injectors here. These were the ones that were in my car. As you can see, some of these pieces were broken. When you pull them out, they just kind of break. And I had to take some pliers to them because I do not have an injector puller. So I took some pliers to them and just yanked them out. They're pretty tight in there. But looking at the tip here, doesn't look horrible. It's hard to focus on here. But they do have a bit of carbon on them, you know, as you can expect for injectors with the direct injected car. And yeah, and 60,000 miles on these injectors, probably a little bit more. So they're not horrible. They actually look decent. I got a new hardline here because this hardline has just been used so many times, and as you can see, it's pretty beat up on both ends here, and so I decided to replace that. But the reason why I removed the injectors from my car is because as you all know, if you have been following my channel, I have had several things in my car that I could not figure out at all. And those few things have been, number one, fuel smell. So when I turn the car on and it's bringing in air from the outside, not from the inside of the cabin, you press that circulating button on your dash here. I get a big fuel smell through the ventilated system and stuff. So that's the first issue. Number two, I've been having an issue with the car staying started when I start it up. So not the first time in the morning, but like throughout the day, every time I start it. Doesn't matter if I stop the car and I go shopping and then I come back. If I start it, if I do not give the car any gas, it will want to stall on itself. The car starts fine, so it's not a starter issue or anything like that. It's just that the car is not getting like any gas, or something is happening with the fuel system and it just wants to fall on its face. So I have to give it gas every single time. And once I give it gas, after a couple seconds, then the car will idle out fine and stay running. So that's the second issue. The third issue is in the morning when I drive my car to work or wherever I may be driving my car after the car has been sitting all night. I will drive, and if I give it any type of like gas more than just like really putting around, the car will sputter. It'll be like and then I will have to let off the gas, and that will go away. If I keep on the gas, it will throw an EPC light, and I immediately go into limp mode, and I have to restart my car. When I usually get the car warmed up to temperature, and then I go and park my car somewhere and turn it off for about a minute, and then I turn it back on, that completely goes away. So I don't know what that has been relating to. But when that happens, I also get a big fuel odor, fuel smell right away, pretty much every time. So it has to be something fuel related. So those are the three things that are happening on my car currently that are just making the drivability a little bit worse. I mean, the car, after these issues, you know, like after the car started, you know, and after the car's warmed up and that sputtering goes away, the car drives perfectly fine. I will full throttle it and the car will pull just fine, just like it should be. I don't have any more issues with the car other than the fuel smell and the car starting problem. But it's just kind of annoying. Like I could be that guy and just be like, you know what? It's annoying, but like I don't want to deal with it, you know? So I could be that guy that doesn't want to maintain his car and just like leave it be because the car drives perfectly fine after that. It doesn't matter. These are just some little tiny issues that, you know, most people would probably just be like, you know, they're an issue, but if the car drives fine and gets me to A and B, then I'm just going to forget about it, right? But me personally, I like to take care of the issues that are on my car as they are promoting themselves. So I try to dive in and I try to diagnose and I try to get the things done on my car so that the car is running perfectly. Also, the other reason is I'm going to Vegas for SEMA next month, and I'm going to be taking my brother, and I just want my car to be dialed in with everything. You know, I'm going to be doing an oil change and doing all sorts of stuff on the car before I go on that trip so that the car is going to be reliable and I can count on the car to get there and back. So with that being said, through this weekend, I decided to, you know, go in there and check out my fueling system as far as the fuel injectors are concerned. So that's what I did. But this also gave me a great opportunity to clean my valves here. And so I already did a valve carbon cleaning, and it came out really nice. And so, yeah, that's been done. And the last time that I did that was about 40-ish thousand miles ago. So I like to usually clean the carbon on my valves every 40 to 50,000 miles on my car, just for the reliability, especially since it's almost at 185,000 miles. I want it to be as reliable as possible all the time. It's going to require a lot more maintenance, and things are going to go wrong because it's higher mileage and it's a German car, right? But yeah, so I did that job, which is great. I've done the job many times before. This is like the 5th or the 6th time that I've done the job on the car. So I know exactly how to do it. It's pretty easy for me. But let's get back to the injectors. So you saw the injectors over here. Those are the old injectors. I got the new injectors in here. I got the new fuel rail. Got my silicone for the little O-rings when you put it on. I got the injector kit right here that comes with all the little parts like the O-rings and these and these parts right here and stuff like that. So the new injectors already come with all the seals pre-installed on them, which is really nice. You don't have to install new seals on them, but you do have to install these tiny little parts. And you can reuse these, but I'm going to use the new ones. But anyway, so the main part of this video, and as you can see in the title, it's titled that my car is currently down right now because when I pulled the injectors out, so when you remove the intake manifold, it opens up the area to get to the valves, right? And then right here, let me remove these right here. Right here sits the fuel rail. Then the fuel rail goes up to the HPFP right here. And so when you remove the fuel rail, you have this wiring harness, which is the injector wiring harness connected to the fuel rail. Really easy to just pop off. It just pops off with these little clips right here. There's 4 of them, and it's just secured onto the fuel rail itself. You just pop that off, and then you get access to the injectors that go into each one of these holes here, okay? And those injectors have their own personal connector plug that goes to the back of the injector right here, okay? And that will give the injector current so that it will pulsate into your engine, right? Pretty easy stuff. But the issue that I'm having with my car right now is that when I removed this wiring harness from the fuel rail, I safely did it. I'm always very careful with my car and the things that I do. I don't yank things. I don't pull things hard. I'm just very careful. When I removed it, this connector, as you can see, the connector is not here anymore. They're exposed wires, okay? This connector was disconnected from the second injector here. So when I removed this wiring harness, it was fully disconnected from that injector. Now, I do not know if when I disconnected the wiring harness from the fuel rail, that it pulled that injector's connector out. I don't know if it happened then, or if I don't know if it was fully disconnected before. All I know is that when I, very, very slightly and lightly removed that wiring harness from the fuel rail, that all the other injectors, this one, and this one, all those injector plugs were still plugged into their injectors, but this one was not. Well, this is weird because I kind of think, and I don't know this for sure as I just explained, but I do kind of think that this connector was unplugged from this injector either the entire time or it had a loose connection on there. And the reason why I think that is because every connector that goes to the injector has these locking tabs, and these plugs, they're everywhere on this car. There's so many connectors on this car, on every car. And with Volkswagen GTIs on the Mark 7 and the Mark 7.5s at least, they have these connectors where you have this little gray tab right here. To remove it, you pull it out and then you push down and it removes the connector. When you install it, you push it in and you switch this connector like this. Let me see. It's not gonna do it. Let me try this one. So this tab will push in. I'm not gonna do it, but it pushes in. And when that tab pushes in, it locks the connector into whatever connection it's going into. So it should not be able to pull out on its own. When I removed this wiring harness and this one was fully disconnected, I noticed that the locking tab was, let me see, it's over here. The locking tab was pushed in, but it still came out. It still came out. And so there was something wrong with this connector. It was not fully connecting into that injector, which really sucks because I don't know if that could have been a loose connection the whole time. Most likely it could have been disconnected the whole time. That's likely too. And also that possibly could be one reason, if not the main reason, to all the fuel things that I've been having with my car. I don't know for sure. I'm not going to really know until I actually fix this issue and reinstall everything and go for a drive and see how the car drives. But I'm pretty sure that was pretty significant that plug was not fully seated or fully connected into that injector, because that could cause that injector to not be working a lot, just be acting intermittently, all sorts of stuff, which could be really, those three things that I mentioned earlier in this video, that could be causing those issues, right? So the thing that sucks about it, actually, let's finish this story. So when the connector was on here, which was this connector over here, this part right here, which is supposed to be secured to this, that's not supposed to come apart. That was bent. It was not straight how it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be straight like this. Let me show you right here. It's supposed to sit straight, okay, on there. It's supposed to sit straight, but it was bent kind of like that. And that tells me that connector was definitely done, definitely bad. And when I pulled it out, this part broke right off. The thing that sucks about that is this connector is now no longer able to be used, which is, obviously, right? But even worse, the plugs, the wire plugs that go into the connector are now broken off. And because they're broken off, I had to get new wires and new plugs for a new connector. Now, the really crappy thing about that is the connectors are cheap. You can find them online for like $9. You can get them at the dealer for like $13, $15 for the connector itself. And if the wires were still good and they had the little pins on the end of the wires to connect into the connector, easy peasy, good to go, super simple job, done. But because the wires were broken and those little pins on the end of the wires were broken in half, they are no longer reusable. And when they're no longer reusable, now you have to find the wires that go to the connector. Sounds like an easy thing, right? You just call VW and buy those wires. Well, the problem with that is you'll talk to any VW. I've called several. All the connectors, they usually have them in stock or available within a day or two. Super cheap, 13, 15 bucks. But to get the wires, which are literally 2 little wires that I'm going to have to solder together, right? With these ones. They're just 2 little wires. I mean, you can go and get wire at a hardware store for super cheap, right? That's going to be a lot longer than just that much that you need. But those 2 little wires, because they have the special pins that go into that connector, VW charges up the wazoo for that stuff. It is ridiculous. What they include, when I called them, is they include 1 wire. Each end of the wire has the little terminal, okay, that goes into the connector. Those terminals are pre-installed on that wire. So what you do is you cut that wire in half and that wire becomes 2, which is fine. And then you connect those 2 terminals into the plug. Sounds pretty simple, sounds pretty easy, sounds pretty cheap. Nope, not cheap. They charged $83. Let me say that again. $83 for 1 wire with the 2 terminals, 1 on each end. 83 bucks. Why they charge that much? I don't know. I do not know. Because it sounds pretty simple for VW to buy a bunch of wire, have them install those terminals, and just have them sit there and send them out to the VW dealerships. It's insane, guys. Insane. So, that is where the car is currently sitting. Parked in the garage. And, you know, I'm not about to spend 83 bucks on a single wire with 2 terminals. Just not about to do it. So, I bought one online. Found one on Amazon. Put the connector part number. And found one on Amazon. $8.90. Less than $10 after tax. And it comes with the wires pre-installed into the plug. With the terminals. Okay? Less than $10. So I decided to buy 3 of them because I'm like, I might need those in the future. And the thing that sucks, like really, 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 really sucks, is I actually already have a connector here. If I can get this open. I actually already have a connector here. This is the correct connector. This is a fuel injector connector that I have previously bought. And the reason why I bought this online is because it came with the 2 wires and I needed those 2 wires for something else on the car. And so I reused those 2 wires. But I have the connector. Check it out. And this connector will connect to the fuel injector. I'll show you right here. See? Connects. So I have the connector. I just don't have the wires. $83. It's just ridiculous, that VW. If they only like charge like maybe like 15 or 20 bucks, I probably would have bought it because they have it in stock. And I would have gone down and got it. And be no issue. But $83, not happening. So I decided to buy the connector with the wires on Amazon because I found it. And it's great. You know, Amazon usually ships really fast, but the problem is I bought them on Monday of this week. I'm not uploading on Monday, but I bought them on Monday, and they're not arriving till Saturday. So my car is down till Saturday because of two stupid wires. So that is it, guys. So that is everything that's going on. That's the gist of the car. That's what's happening with the car. So I'm going to leave the video at that. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking and disliking. Thanks for putting in the time. We hit over 1,000 subscribers, guys, which is crazy. Never thought that this channel would ever do that, but we did. Thank you to all of you. I really, really, really appreciate it. So until I get those wires in the mail from Amazon and the plugs, I'm not going to be able to put this together. So this car probably won't be running till next week on Sunday or Monday. So, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. So I just wanted to show you that. And yeah, I hope you like this video. And until the next video, I'll check you guys later. All right, peace.